It's interesting the jobs and the tasks that the robots and AI took. I didn't pick it. Like, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, if I asked you 5 years ago, what jobs do you think are prime for AI to take over? What would you have said?
I would have said manufacturing and taxis.
Interesting. Why those ones?
Oh, just because that's what, you know, Tesla was working on and manufacturing. They've already got kind of arm robots there
And it's
and
a highly the job is like the
repetitive.
same thing, repetitive,
Mm,
right? And this is when we think, oh, okay, the jobs that AI is going to take are really uh, highly process driven, low variability jobs, right?
mundane, yeah.
And we pick kind of the either ends of the market. So we say, okay, we can get rid of low cost workers. So we can just, remove rubbish collecting. We can just automate that, right? Or we can remove, a factory assembler. We can just, because it's the same thing again and again, prime for automation. And then the other end, we'd say, okay, the jobs that are really, really expensive, but are kind of data driven, like a CEO, well, that's kind of automated too. Or mid management, we might say, they're not really doing anything different. It's very formulaic, it's process driven. But they went for the fucking creatives. That is the first thing that AI really
Oh
went
yeah,
after. What the
art.
hell? That was completely out of left field. I was like, you know what? The artists, the musicians, the sex workers, the nurses, these are the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
human
It,
jobs.
you can understand, okay, in a warehouse, like Amazon, I think uses robots. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
productive and blah blah, and it's not a massive hit on the workforce. They're there to assist workers, not completely take over. But then I think back to, oh, I don't know, 15 years ago when they go, we're getting rid of the toll gates, and I'm like, how? Like that, but how?
Yeah.
You need someone to operate it and take your money. And then we got our tags, and back then I was like, I don't know how this is going to be possible.
Yeah.
And now, no, can't think of any road that has a toll gate
Yeah. That's right.
like that you pay.
Yeah. There's none in Australia that I know of.
No.
But it's interesting that you have these until the change happens, you couldn't imagine how it happened. But once it changes, you couldn't imagine it being any other way.
Yeah, yeah. I could never imagine a toll gate going up and you're paying your coins.
And these are how singularities kind of happen, right? And there's a very very small example of it. But we think about before fire or before internet, you can't imagine what the world would be like when that's there. But once it's there, you can't imagine how it could be any different.
No,
Like
no.
like I can't imagine what a pre-internet world's like. Like I couldn't imagine waking up and for a day internet not existing. Like I'm so heavily reliant on it for every single thing. And it must have been the same for cavemen when they had fire.
Yeah,
It just a complete singularity. You couldn't. It's like a technological barrier that
yeah,
separates you.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
sort of beyond the imagination of what possibilities are open. You just like, this is just too far for me to grasp
we've got a few of
initially.
them. We've got a few of them converging right now. So we have AI,
Yeah.
which is like if you've been keeping up with it, it's
Hmm.
going exponentially fast.
Yeah.
So we went from having no real text to image to
Mm.
multiple
Oh,
generations.
yes.
I'm going to show you something.
What's the program
We got
called?
DALI, we got
Dali.
Stable Diffusion.
Stable
Stable
diffusion.
diffusion.
Holy
Holy crap.
So I went from using
text to
a
images.
yeah, I went from
Completely AI. Oh
so
my
I
lord.
was on a wait list for a year. Oh no, for 3 months. Sorry,
Yeah.
to get this. I got it. I was so excited. Within 3 months, I was running it locally on my computer.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
huge.
because that's the latest advancement. It used to be sort of cloud based, I think, and now you can locally do it.
That's it. And you
I
had
I would like to show you guys this. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
would have seen this, but just listen to
Okay.
Alan talk.
Yeah.
Art in different domains. Some guy submitted his AI art into the Colorado State Fair and won first place with his prompt, which seemed to set the media off because it set off graphic designers. That particular piece he's not releasing the prompt for, but I could see why it might win in a digital category. He used Midjourney here to generate this via a prompt, and then some upscaling and a little bit of Photoshop touch-up. But we're at the stage now where some of the art that is made possible by these models is indistinguishable from that of a human.
Okay, I'm just going to pause for a sec.
Seeing people and they're creating people who look 100% real, you know, with like a little blemish or something, and they're completely not real. That's sort of, because it was like the next evolution of deepfake, but that is great, but people, like anything, the misuse of that, whoa, that's a worry, isn't it?
People get pretty upset about it. You know, there's a lot of people coming out and saying, "Oh, you know, you can't do this. You can't win an art show. That's not art." And I love this Twitter post that came out, and it goes, "You know what? It must be art because it's pissing everyone off."
That's gold.
And it's funny because artists have been deconstructing art for the past 100 years, right?
Yeah.
Putting, Marcel Duchamp's The Fountain, he puts, the urinal up there and he goes, "Oh, that's art." And everyone goes, "Oh, it's not art. It's not pretty." And then all of a sudden, this comes out and all the artists go, "That's not art. That's too pretty." But the fact is, artists have been deconstructing art, and now we've deconstructed artists. So it's gone back the other way, and now they're pissed off, right? Pissing off the artists rather than the public. And the public have finally gotten what they wanted, which is, for ages they've said, I want it to look pretty. I want like the Renaissance painters or something like this. And then now all of a sudden you democratize talent.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And the thing is, artists, I spend a lot of time with artists, or especially bio artists and stuff like this. And I've got a really good appreciation for modern art now. When I say I don't understand it, and they'd say, "Listen, since Duchamp's The Fountain, art wasn't necessarily about the art. It's about the ideas that drive it. And this has meant that every person is now an artist because you put your idea into a prompt and it generates the art."
It's like cubism.
Exactly right. And big famous artists like Anish Kapoor and stuff like this, Damien Hirst, they don't go and make their art. They sketch out an idea and they hire contractors to go and weld and assemble. They use cranes. They're more like concierges that bring an idea into existence through the work collectively of them and other people, but through their sole idea. So this is exactly art, where you've basically gone and you've commissioned a robot to bring your idea into reality. That's right. This is real art, like 100%.
So does that mean that who is the artist? The one that does the work, or the one that commissioned the person to do the work?
By the current standards of the artists that we celebrate around the world, we'd say it's the person who commissioned it, right? The person who came up with the idea is the artist.
So the words that you type in and hit enter.
Yeah, you are the artist. And Dali actually recognized that. They say that you are the artist. So if you go and make an artwork, you are considered the artist, and Dali, you don't even have to credit Dali, right? So if I use
it's like 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration.
That's it. What we automated was the talent.
Yeah.
Right? And it's interesting because often these really rich artists, Anish Kapoor is a perfect example. His parents are merchant bankers. He's the most boring artist in the world. His ideas are fucking boring because he's just been rich his entire life. Like he didn't go and have a heroin addiction or sit in a gutter in France for 3 weeks because he'd run out of money. He just kind of went to school, did a degree in fine art, did his master's in fine art, did a PhD in fine art, whatever it was, made friends with all his merchant bankers, and every time they want to build a 30-story building in Dubai or whatever it is, they commission him to go and do the artwork because you have to put a sculpture out front. So that's why he's famous, right?
Yeah.
His artwork's terrible. Like, it's really bad.
I guess that's how art is because people think it's trash in the beginning.
That's it. If we're angry about it, like I'm angry. I still pay to go and see every one of Anish Kapoor's exhibits to trash it, right? I hate it. But as I said, it's the attention, right? Whether I love it or hate it, I'm still paying to see it. I'm still going along to use it to stimulate me.
Well,
I can't get... Mind show.